Hi everyone, so today we are in Montreal and we are about to visit a place that is quite unique called La Place Commune. Please come with us, we're going to meet with Christophe.
Yeah.
There you go, how are you? How are you,
Good,
Christophe? Thank you so much, it's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, so please for the audience, could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, well, welcome to La Place Commune, a small cooperative cafe in Parc-Extension, Montreal, where we try to focus on food justice, popular education, and gathering the community into that space to foster, collective initiatives.
That is wonderful.
Build the community together.
That is wonderful. So in just a few words, how would you describe the mission of La Place Commune? When exactly did you participate in founding the La Place Commune, and what's the purpose behind it?
Well, Place Commune was founded 6-7 years ago in 2015 by a group of citizens of the neighborhood that wanted a place to gather the community together around urban agriculture and food justice. Nowadays, it's much more than that. We bring the collectivity together to offer a space to the population for them to be able to eat at a very, very good price. Yeah. But as well to focus on food waste, eliminating food waste, fostering food justice, and different cultural activity in the neighborhood as well. So it's really a Place Commune means a place for everybody. It's home for most of the people who come here.
That's wonderful. So please tell us more about this place. Would you mind paying us a visit? So you have different fridges, you have plants over there. How does it work basically? What's the idea behind the place?
Well, as you can see, it's kind of a big house where everybody can come and find their place. There's obviously all the place that people can be there to work, but we have T-shirts that we made ourselves to sell. All the plants that we try to have a nice kind of greenhouse during the winter, especially because it's so cold here in Montreal during winter. If you come over here.
Of course, let's go.
We have our fridge where we do all the preparation that we can keep all the fermentation, so way to preserve all the fruits and vegetables we have, so we can keep them for a longer time. And fermentation is just a great way to conserve, and it tastes so good. We have the community fridge over there.
Yes.
Community fridge is super interesting. It's a fridge where everything is free. Everybody can come here and get the food they want. Today it's already empty. It's 12 in the morning, already empty. We'll need to fill it up a little bit later. Yeah. But what we think is that food is a right. Everybody should have food. We are able to collect surplus from different institutions. And because we get it for free, then we want to offer it for free as well. So it kind of works as a small, very, very small food bank. And we try to, be there for the neighborhood. Yeah. Over the last year, we collected more than 17 tons of food that were destined to be wasted. And we're able to offer that for free to the community of Parc-Extension through mostly the fridge. So
Parc-Extension is the neighborhood we are in, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a very, very particular neighborhood in Montreal. It's a super multi-ethnic, super dynamic, but also very, very not rich
underprivileged, let's say.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly. So it's really a low-income neighborhood, but it's super rich from its diversity, and we try to compensate that and try to offer as much as we can from what we get from the collaboration we have with different organizations.
That's wonderful. Maybe let's go to the kitchen.
Yeah, of course.
And I wanted to have a conversation with you about food systems. Yeah. What do you think about food systems worldwide, and what do you think we could improve in our food systems so we have something that is more fair and socially fair and environmentally fair as well?
Yeah. Well, I'd say there's a lot of things that not only that we can improve, but that we need to improve. Yes. As a society in our food system, as we know, there's too many people that are not able to eat. Yeah. And that's a big problem in the food system that is not able to provide to all of these people. Yeah. There's a lot of food waste. There's a lot of issues regarding the logistics and the distributions and the preservation of our environment, as well as the diversity in what we said and what we grow. There's thousands of types of vegetables, but we only grow a certain number of it. So all of these problems, there's only a certain number that we can act on as an organization. Here at La Place Commune, we try to understand our work into a systemic approach. So we see it as a very, very small and local food system, and we think about it as a solidarity food system and local food system. So we help the producer to farm and to harvest in their own field around 100 kilometers around the restaurant. We have about 20-ish partnerships with them in different farms. We also give food when we can give food to support food security in the neighborhood. We also provide as much as we can good conditions for the worker and the volunteers here, because we know either it's in the field or in the restaurant industry, there's a lot of terrible conditions in the work environment. So we try here to have fun and to be able to listen to the staff and the volunteers and to create an environment that looks like us, and so we can foster all of that. We try to be close to our food system and to understand it on every pieces of the chain as well.
Absolutely.
Either it is distribution,
production as
well. We have a garden. Maybe we'll talk about it later, but we have a big garden where we grow our own vegetable as well. We collect the fruits in the trees in the city that grow fruits. Really, when we open our eyes, we can see that there's so much that we can do in a restaurant. If we just think differently on what we're used to, we were used to think about how a restaurant work or how a community work, by seeing it as a system, it's much more easy to understand how we can act on it.
Absolutely, and I think a big part of what you do is also educating people about all the opportunities, how to cook more sustainably, how to focus on the social and the environmental aspects. Basically, how are you contributing to connect with people and also to transmit that knowledge so they can be maybe closer to food and foster a healthy relationship with food?
Well, everything we do here is driven by the will of popular education, where we use food as for social gastronomy, like something we do. We use food as a tool to transform the society. So food and the restaurant is only just an excuse to initiate or to create that spark for citizenship and to take part in the society in the changes we want to see. By being part of an organization like La Place Commune, people are able to take a voice, to express themselves, to participate in something greater than just your own consumption of food. And when you see all of this, then you understand that you can have a real impact with that. And by gathering all of these people together, that's the only way, I think, and we think at La Place Commune, is by collectively acting on these issues and these problems, by naming them, facing them, and just trying to understand. And we're solution driven, but we also take a lot of time to understand deeply all the problematics we're facing, because everything is connected, and that's the beauty of understanding and seeing things as a system. And we see all of these connections together, and then we're like, okay, then maybe we can do something like that. And okay, we need we're there to facilitate the collectivization. I don't know if that's a word in English.
No, but I think people get it.
Yes. We need to to gather the people together, and when we're together, we're just stronger, and it's easier to solve the problems we're living.
That's truly inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing all of this. Now, you lead by example, but honestly, it might be difficult for most businesses, most restaurants to do the same, because it requires a lot of effort, a lot of knowledge, a lot of people who are willing to take the time. So what is your advice to restaurant, I would say traditional restaurant, that would like to be more sustainable, to include more sustainability practices within their operations, what are simple things they can do to follow your example?
Yeah, well, of course, we're not a traditional restaurant. As you said, we're a non-profit restaurant.
Yes.
So it changes the focus a lot because we're not, focusing on profit and making money. The restaurant part is only a part to support financially the rest of the projects.
Yeah.
We have the chance to be supported by the city and different organizations that can support us financially, and most of our projects we're not making any profit on them. Because it's education, because it's gardening, and we're giving away the production to the population. What I would say for restaurant is to maybe change a little bit the focus. And I know it's really, really hard, and especially in Montreal. I don't really know in the rest of the world, but I know in Montreal the margin of profit in restaurants it's close to 1 or 2%. It's nothing, right? Yeah. You're not making yourself rich by running a restaurant. It's really something of passion, and because I think most of the cooks and the chefs are they have that craziness that make them work in the kitchen. They're so passionate and they're not afraid of work. And I think that's what we need to focus on. We know how we can change. We know that if we start to compost and if we start to change our habits, it's difficult. But I don't think any cooks and chefs are afraid of difficulty because they wouldn't do that job,
But can they do both? So be profitable and at the same time have an impact. Is this a possibility, a reality that makes sense to you?
I hope it is.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
That's a big one. I think there's a way to be profitable. I think there's a way as well that we can understand differently our growth. There's a difference with being profitable and trying to grow as a society or as a business. Yeah. And by always looking to grow, maybe it gets more difficult to be sustainable and to stay small scale. I think if we are focusing on being stable, it might be easier. Honestly, I really don't know. I think it all comes down to the reason of opening a business.
Yeah. What's the purpose behind?
What's the purpose? If the purpose as a restaurant is to make food and to make money, then maybe it's not profitable to think further than that.
Yeah.
For us, our purpose is not to make money, and our excuse to foster social change, or our way to foster social change, is by making food. So it's really, it goes down really to the mentality and the reason why we do this.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. In our context, of course, we can't put the prices too high. And so the restaurant cannot be used as it is used as a leverage to support our activities, but it cannot be the only one.
Yes.
If we work for profit, then of course we could, kind of brand our business as a social business like this, so we can use the profit to reinvest in community and something like that. Yes. Because this is not the way we do it here. It's rather impossible to do that. But I think businesses could do something like that. Yes, to use sense. And especially chefs nowadays are rock stars, right? They're everywhere. They're on TV, on magazines, on the radio, everywhere, and they have that platform. They have that they
power of influence.
Exactly, they have that influence where they can talk about, and I think more and more the chefs are aware of that. Yeah. And because food is so much impacted by the climate crisis, we're at the front of this crisis as well. If there's no more good food, if there's no more food, then we can't do our work, and we need as cooks and as chefs to protect the biodiversity. We need to protect the planet if we want to exert our job and our passion better than that. And I think there's more and more chefs that are going this way by offering much more vegan or vegetarian options. I think there's a switch as well, less meat in the restaurant, or meat is not seen as the principal element, rather as a side dish kind of thing in your plate. And I think these mentality changing in the kitchen as well. We need to protect our planet, but we need to protect our staff as well. I think less and less cooks are accepting to be treated the way they were treated a few years back. We're changing this, and this we see it in the plate as well. We see it in the food. When you hear the cooks and the team, the brigade laughing in the kitchen, it just makes the whole experience better. And I think all of these change, changing is step by step.
Yeah.
There's no way we can change everything in our business
Yeah.
in one step, So it's little things, being informed and not being scared or afraid of doing something different that your previous chef was not doing.
Yeah.
Just try and collaborate.
Yes.
We're all in the same,
So
in the same
talking
pool.
about collaboration, who exactly do you collaborate with here in the neighborhood, and what kind of support do you get to maximize your impact here at La Place Commune?
So in the neighborhood, we are working closely with different organizations from different, with different missions. We're working with organizations that focus their work on immigration and welcoming the immigrants. We're working with food banks. We're working with organizations that offer cooking classes.
Yeah.
And
So that's also something you do, like you train people to...
We don't train per se,
Like-
but we welcome
Yeah.
any person that want to volunteer.
Yeah.
And because we always start with the premise or the thought that everybody will come here as basic knowledge, at least a minimum knowledge of cooking. So we're just here to facilitate the venue or their experience. And we want to very, very, very much validate the experience they already have. So we won't say to a mother of 5 kids that come to volunteers, we won't, show that person how to cut an onion. It's okay if she has the different ways of cutting it, as long as the job is done and we can have fun in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And we try as much as we can to let these people, these volunteers, choose the menu as well. So it's not, it's most of the time we would see a different name or something on the menu that we've never made before because it's a volunteer that said, I would like to make that dish. I'm like, yeah, okay, so next week, that day, you come and we make that and we make sure we have all the ingredients for you.
Yeah.
And so that person becomes the chef of the day. So we collaborate with the community in the neighborhood, with the different organizations to support every activities that take part.
Yeah.
If we can be there to offer a small, juice and muffins in an activity that this other organization is having in the park, then we'll do it. We'll try to do it. We try to show presence in different activities as well. If they're launching, they're making a movie in the park, we'll be there just to show that we support them. Yeah. And what goes around comes around.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And I think that's how we survive as the community sector, as a community in Parc-Extension. We all work together to make the neighborhood greater that it is already.
And if you would sum up the impact that you had since 2015, do you have any numbers in mind? Just so we can have perspective about the number of people you actually
well, as a cooperative, we have I think we have about 1,000 members for the cooperative.
Yes.
We're not doing any marketing or almost nothing. We're not branding ourselves. We try to keep it low key as well. So having 1,000 members for us, it's a big achievement. Yeah. We started to structure much more our activities last summer, and just last summer we saved 17 tons of food.
That's crazy.
From wasting just by having activities, and then we have all the community being involved in it. There's about 100 volunteers in all the different projects mixed together. So a
lot of food was saved because, for example, like producers wouldn't be able to...
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to harvest it or to take it outside the field or the farm. So we'd go there with a team of volunteers from the neighborhood, 5, 10, 15 people. We spend the day in the farm, harvesting vegetable and stuff like this. Yeah. And then we bring it back here. And we have way too much fruits and vegetable for the capacity of our cold room downstairs. So we just put everything outside in the fridge. We go to different food banks and we just ask people on the street, take a bag, fill the bag with vegetable, fresh vegetable, local, organic food, so they can have it for themselves. I think the impact is in there, but it's also in the construction of the community and the way that people can be in much more citizen like this by being an active member. Being on the conseil d'administration, how do you say that in English?
On the board
of the cooperative as well. It's open, it's democratic as much as we can. Nothing's perfect, but we try to keep an open space for everybody for most of the project and being there to support the projects of the community. And all of this, I think, is the greater impact. As I said, food is only the tool. Exactly, it's the tool to
achieve
foster,
something bigger.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And I think like this, that we can see there's many people that come here. It's a small village,
Yes.
just this place.
Yes.
And everybody can find help for pretty much anything they need.
Thank you so much for your insights. That was wonderful.
My
Again,
pleasure.
congrats for your work, and I wish you all the best for you.
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Cheers. Thank
Thanks.
you.